So all of this doubt and questioning reaches fever pitch. This who are the Reds, this need to know, reaches fever pitch when two things happen. One of them is right up here. Congress passes what's called the McCarran Act, or the Internal Security Act, and it does a whole number of things, and what it really does is make people even more paranoid, because it says that if you are a communist, or if we suspect that you're a communist, you are banned from having a passport, you can't go anywhere, and you can be arrested in case of national emergency. So what's the big deal, you say? Why does that create paranoia? Because our government, including the army, begin to build concentration camp prisons around the country in the South and in the Midwest for subversives, political opponents. People who thought the Red Scare, this fear of who are the Reds, was kind of crazy and out there, really started to panic at this idea of us building these camps. We had just seen internment camps during World War II, and we know that one of the first things that a fascist country did, like Italy and like Nazi Germany would later do, and even the Soviets themselves would do, was to build camps like this for political opponents, people that we disagreed with. So when we see that you can arrest people that might be communist, you can ban communist groups, you can make revolution illegal, all of these kinds of things, Americans really begin to go after communists with a fever pitch. They think they want someone to lead them. They need someone to lead them. We have all of these people that are worried about it, but there's no one that's really kind of directing that energy. Lots of people out there saying it's better dead than red, but no one really directing that anxiety in the 1950s until this guy shows up. Senator Joseph McCarthy. He gave a speech in 1950, and really it wasn't anything like a magical speech. It was just a little speech that he gives to some old ladies, literally. And in that speech, he says that he knows, and you can see an example of the speech right here. You can see a quote of it. He says that he knows, and he had in his hand, and he held up a stack of papers, a list of 205 people in the State Department, the people that work with other countries, that are, in fact, communist. And he makes that speech again and again and again. Funny thing, though, the number of people that he knows for sure that are communist, it changes. Sometimes it's 57, sometimes it's 109, sometimes it's 205. The people who doubt all of this, like the people that worry about those concentration camps, the people who doubt all of this Red Scare stuff, they're kind of wondering if McCarthy isn't full of it. And by it, I don't mean Jell-O. You know what I mean. So they're watching this kind of thing unfold, McCarthy making all of these accusations, and he really starts to make some wild accusations. And the American people love him for it. They rally behind him as he is making accusations about Secretary of State Dean Acheson, Army Chief of Staff George Marshall, and these people are World War II heroes. These aren't just average, everyday Americans, politicians, or soldiers. These people are like bona fide heroes, okay? But when McCarthy comes along, he makes these vague charges, he hurts people's reputation. It actually gets a nickname because it happens so often in the 1950s. It's called McCarthyism. He even goes on TV. His panel in the House of Representatives goes on TV, and they actually hold hearings, televised live, where he accuses important people in Hollywood, in politics, in the army, in the government, of being communist. He gets so aggressive and so angry that people actually begin to turn against him. They begin to realize that this guy he's a bully. He even goes after a young kid just out of college who didn't really have any connections at all. And when that comes to light, Americans kind of wake up a little bit. They go, wait a minute, this guy is leading us down this path. I'm not sure this is the path we want to go down. And at this moment, the Red Scare, the Cold War, takes a bit of a turn. It's not so much about finding out who are the Reds, but recognizing that our society's changed now, that there's something different about who we are, that we have to deal with communism, that our society's changing.